WNN.
The following program does not necessarily reflect the opinions of the staff, management, ownership of the station. Jay and Janine are expressing their own opinions, and such is not a substitute for psychological or mental health advice. If you are experiencing an emergency, please hang up and call 911.
It is
welcome to
5 p.m. on Friday. Hello.
And we are live at the Momentum Mindset Show.
Yes, we are.
A little bit of a strange beginning to our show. By the way, this is we're starting our 8th month here on the Momentum Mindset Show. I just want to congratulate you, and I want to congratulate myself. And for all the listeners out there, guess what? It is my birthday birthday month. So I'm just letting everybody know right now, you have 2 shopping days left before my birthday. And maybe that was like a little hesitation for the show. I don't know exactly how to get that advertisement out, that plug.
You know what's so funny? I actually wanted to mention your birthday.
Yeah.
And you just stole my thunder.
Wait.
Because I wanted to talk about your birthday.
The great news is you can do that.
Okay.
You're part of the show.
Okay.
You can have a second chance at enrolling people. Okay, 2 shopping days left. I'm not kidding. All right, I'll be turning 44 years old.
The double quattro.
Right, 44. And I'm very excited because I've not ever been in better shape in my life. I feel better than I ever have in my entire life. And I was been saying this all week long, actually for a couple weeks now. I've said that I'm in love with Jay Farrow in a way that I've never been in my entire life. And I think that I know that. It's all because of the things that we're doing. And one of the things is this show. And I want to give an acknowledgement to this show. And I wanted to do this today.
And really thank everybody who takes time to listen or to view the recast live on Facebook or however it is that you tune in. The fact that you would listen, it blows my mind. So thank you.
Well, I understand why they listen.
No, of course, listen. Yeah, but it's a really big deal. People have more distractions today than ever. The infinite options of viewing, reading, this, whatever, the itch, the twitch, the visual stimulation that we've got going on right now is beyond. I get overwhelmed. So the fact that people take time, I think it's really a special
8 months.
And we're so excited.
8 months since I walked into, not this studio, but started working with Don and Freddie 8 months ago when they got invited onto their show, The Brooklyn Cafe. And here we are. Now, I want to make this acknowledgement for this reason, and not because we have a show and not because it's gone on for 8 months, but what's gone into those 8 months that I wanted to share. Because
absolutely.
We are the voice of the entrepreneur. Going through the beginnings of greatness, okay? We are the voice of the entrepreneur and the beginnings of vision, purpose, learning using all the tools of transformation, going through the ups and downs of the first ups and downs, where there is no evidence that this is all going to work out. I mean, this could be a great experience of 8 months of just being on a radio show. Yeah, I'm going to explain to the audience that it comes down to this: it's doing the show or paying for groceries. It's doing the show or figuring out how much money we have for gas. It's not that way anymore, though. It's not that anymore. But for 3 months of the beginning of this year, for 3 months
and some,
until we had some recent wins that just are, and the wins keep coming. I mean, there are things that are showing up right now. It feels like every single day I'm hitting a home run. I'm winning the Super Bowl. I mean, in its own way, it's just been great. But just to know,
it's not financial wins, obviously, all the time.
Some of them are.
Sure. But that's not it. There's something going on. There's something really amazing going on in the midst. And this is what's really special. I want to take a moment to encourage people to call in to the show. Because, again, we've said this before. Jay and I love talking and being out here and being of service and offering up some really what we hope is amazing content. And we'd love to interact with you all. So the number is 888. 565-1470.
That's 888-565-1470. And so for 3 months, it was difficult to keep the show going. But our concept is keep going no matter what. Whatever you have going on, whatever your vision is, whatever your purpose is, whatever you want to live into, keep it going, regardless of whatever conversations are coming up. And we did that for 3 months. And I just want to acknowledge you. And I want to acknowledge myself and this accountability team that we have going on.
Yeah.
Now, you have a lot of things I want to talk about on the show. I want to talk about team. I want to talk about clarity.
Yeah.
I
this
want
is
to
a
talk
big one.
about something that has been coming into my space a lot. I call it unforced errors. That's the stuff that you do or I do that has no rhyme or reason to it, that only is us getting into our own way. An unforced error. But the clarity portion of the show that I want to talk about is not just the regular clarity that we talk about. I'm talking about some uncomfortable clarity. I want to talk about the clarity stuff that let's say a business transaction between two people and your friends. And you have your looking good conversation. You have the feeling that I'm like, for instance, we're having a show, right?
Yeah.
This one.
Yeah.
Okay. So this one.
What are you trying to say with that? Be clear, Jay.
No, but I'm saying, okay. And we had a couple of things that come up recently where we had to have some uncomfortable conversations with people that we've had business relationships with that are also friends.
Yes.
Okay.
Correct.
Now. Oh my God.
We have a caller.
Okay, awesome. All right. We're off to a good start.
Okay.
So,
awesome.
And I think it's Kim. Kim, how are you?
Kim.
Hi.
Hello.
Hi.
How you been?
Oh, good. How are you guys doing?
We're doing great.
We're doing great. How are you this Friday?
I'm doing fantastic.
Yay.
Can't complain.
That's awesome. What would you like to
had to
talk
call
about
in.
today, Kim?
I just wanted to call in and tell you guys how much I appreciate you and your show and everything you do. And it's awesome.
We were starting to say we're so grateful for all the audience.
so
I mean,
grateful.
we're
Kim,
recognizing
thank
that
you
it's been
so
8 months
much.
of us doing this, and I saw your message to me on Facebook today, and what came up for me is that it means so much for us to know that people are watching, and it means that the show's meant something
Incredible
to somebody.
me. So amazing.
And we just really appreciate your support. And it is. And I want to personally thank you for the best gift that I've gotten thus far, and probably will for this whole birthday season, which lasts the entire month of July. Kim got me like a full set of socks. And
That's awesome. And for those of you who
You
may or
wearing
may
them
not
today?
know, Jay has like a whole thing with socks going on right now.
Right,
So
yeah.
this is like really
Wearing-
an awesome, thoughtful gift.
wearing 2 different pairs of socks every single day.
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah.
I love
To
it.
change it up,
Yeah.
to break a pattern, to do something different, to interrupt.
So I just want to say thank you, Kim.
You're welcome.
And thank you for calling in, because you're our first caller in a number of shows. And it's just thank you for being courageous
you.
enough to do it.
Thank you for being brave and,
I had to
and
do it. I wanted to
heeding
talk
the
to you
call
guys
to
and tell you how
action.
much I appreciate you guys.
And do you have a
Thank
paper
you.
towel report by any chance?
No paper towels.
No.
All right,
No.
my darling. Well, when you do it, let
I
us
have
know what
mine
comes up.
towels.
Okay.
Okay, I will.
Thanks, Kim.
Okay. Thank you,
Take
Kim.
care, you guys.
All right.
All right. You too. Have a beautiful weekend.
We appreciate you. So, got a caller. See, this is we're doing good. All right, we're doing good.
No, we feel really fortunate for a myriad of reasons, and it's also, we were discussing this at lunch. So it's putting in the work when we coulda, shoulda, woulda, given up. Where I believe that most people shoulda, woulda, coulda given up. And we didn't. We held each other to the task through tears, through drama, through infighting, because Jay and I are really, really close. So what that means is that we are fiercely loyal to each other, but we also fight.
Right.
You know?
It's the creating the clarity that we've had.
Yeah.
Okay. So some of the things that we have come up this week, and we want to talk about what happened this week, is these uncomfortable conversations that you have with people that you are going into business with, or develop your friends, and then you do something business together. And how often does it show up that the good stuff about the business, what might show up, is always on the table, but that nitty gritty stuff that you want to talk about is not on the table. So it's like, that's the stuff. That really is those pills that we swallow because we don't want to hurt someone's feelings, especially if it's someone that we like and care about.
Exactly.
Oh, we have another caller.
We have
coming.
another caller.
Okay.
Steve.
Steve.
Hey,
Oh,
Hi.
boy, Steve. How are you?
I was excited to hear about the subject today.
Oh,
Aw, Steve Farrow.
Got a
It's
little
beautiful to hear you.
well, thank you. I just had a little clarity here and wanted to share it
Please do.
because what we have Sonia has sent me on several occasions to the eye doctor to see what needs to be done. So, hello?
Yeah,
Hello.
we're listening.
We're here. We're listening to you.
Okay.
For those who don't know why this is like going to be an awkward like conversation a little bit. This is my dad, everybody. This is Steve Farrow. This is my hero, and I really appreciate you calling it. This is a pretty cool thing.
This is a very cool thing.
I'm seeing myself here live on Facebook. I have my dad on the phone.
It's pretty awesome. So, what happened at the eye doctor, Steve?
Well, the eye doctor, everything went really, really good. So, I mean, we had a little work done a few months ago, and now I can see what needs to be done.
Oh, that could be the problem.
That could be the problem.
That's like the doctor walks in and he says, "I got good news and bad news for you." To this man who walks into the doctor's office, he's like, "What? What's the all right? What's the bad news?" He's like, that basically that your back is fixed. What's the good news? It's like, or wait, what's the good news? My back is fixed. What's the bad news? The back is fixed. I'm mixing this up, but then all of a sudden the wife gets to invite him to do all the stuff around the work around the house that he couldn't see.
Fixed, but now got it. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. Well, kind of, sort of. But yeah, I just wanted to, sometimes, in life, there are people that look and listen to react, and then there are those that listen for clarity and to learn. So it's a good subject that you've approached tonight, and sometimes it took a long time for me to see all of this. So it's now what we have here. So we're sitting here waiting for our friends to have a little bit of, and we're going to have clarity. But we also learned many years ago, your friends should be your friends, and your business people should be your business, and that way, you're not mixing apples and oranges.
Well, that's one way to do it.
That is one way to do it. There are many people who would agree with that. Where would that leave Jay and I, though, Steve?
Well, yeah. So it's an interesting question. It's a very interesting question. I mean, the same thing could be said with Sonia and I, that we've been in business together for well over 40 years, and I've got to say that when you are dealing with friends and acquaintances, you do have to step on toes, or not. You have to tiptoe around certain things. So, anyway, I just thought I would call in, say hello.
Thank you.
And we appreciate that, Dad.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Steve.
The part that you called me your hero 3 days before your birthday, I didn't get your present, so don't worry about it.
But as Jay wisely pointed out, you've got 2 more shopping days, Steve.
Yeah, just don't call me late for dinner on Sunday, okay?
All right, Dad.
All right.
You know what's interesting? If you listen to
and good luck.
Thanks,
Thank
Dad.
you.
So what's interesting is when he was talking about like when you become friends, or if you are friends, or if a friendship develops in your business, the words tiptoe. Listen to the language.
Yeah.
Okay, because sometimes when you have this thing where this mantra of business is business and
Friendships are friendships. I think that it depends on the business and it depends on the friendship.
Let me tell you something. My uncomfortable conversation that I had, quote unquote uncomfortable conversation. You want to know why it was uncomfortable? Only because of me making it uncomfortable. Because the person on the other side, you know what they said? Jay, how about this?
I love this.
If we have an issue, let's go outside. I'll punch you in the face. You punch me in the face. And we'll get over it, or we won't get over it.
I want people to know that this is a woman who I just think is adorable.
But
like,
imagine
who
this.
says that? It's amazing.
So guess what? Okay, so you're in business with a friend. Imagine that you can create a space like this, and up front, we're going into business together. We're friends, but I want you to know this. If we're going to have a problem, I'm going to come to you and we'll go outside. We'll take our friendship hat off and we'll just go at it. Just like two
MMA.
people, right? Two boys will, or however that comes to pass.
Right.
And then we settle our differences and then we kiss and make up.
Yep.
Because if that's the context, if you walk in and saying, "Look, we're going to have these things," if they're the only way that we're going to screw this up is that if we don't have the ability to go outside and punch each other in the face,
right? So let's talk about that with you and I. Even so, for a long time,
let's do that because it's time, woman.
It's time. I want to punch you in the face.
Well, no, let's take a break.
We will take a break.
Before we
no
start
one's
getting
punching
physical,
anyone.
I mean, we're not saying that this might just degenerate to that level today.
It might get MMA. People.
You go 3 months without paying rent, and you're looking at the person next to you as being responsible. Your accountability buddy. You might. Let's go on a break here for a second.
Yeah.
Call it an accountability break, and we'll see what happens on the way back.
Stay tuned, everybody.
Farrow Law Firm, standing up to corporate bullies, using innovative, aggressive, and effective strategies to resolve disputes effectively and timely. Contact us at 954-252-9818, online at farrowlawfirm.com, and on Facebook at Farrow Law Firm. We look forward to being of service to you.
You've been listening to the Momentum Mindset Show
with Jay and Janine. Give us a call at 888-565-1470. And now back to the show.
And welcome back to the Momentum Mindset Show. No, we got that. We hit that one.
Yes,
I like that.
Yes.
So before the break, we were about to put on some boxing gloves and create the space for. We're going to create the space for a healthy business relationship between two friends. And what we started to talk about in the beginning of the show was clarity in a business relationship, that you become friends or were friends beforehand.
Yeah.
And when do you have those uncomfortable conversations that if you don't have them, create resentment, which leads to, the destruction of the relationship. Both relationships might end.
Absolutely.
Okay?
Absolutely. So it's an interesting thing. So for full disclosure, because our show is about complete accountability and vulnerability. So for a long time, I avoided uncomfortable conversations with you because I avoided them with everybody. It wasn't just you. It was symptomatic of the way I lived my life. Until such a time, I've been in the work of transformation, personal development, and accountability and all these things for quite a while now. Until such time that the price I was paying for keeping myself quiet, or keeping in check, or keeping the peace, or as your father put it, tiptoeing around this, that, and the other, became unbearable to me. Mm-hmm. So out of an obligation to myself and ultimately for the integrity of the relationship, I really wanted, we have another caller. Yes. This is like the lotto. We're playing the lotto after this. This is like so exciting.
Okay. We have Gina on the phone.
Gina, welcome to the show.
Welcome to the show, Gina.
Why, thank you. I'm a long-time listener, guys.
All right. Thank you.
We appreciate that, and happy Friday to you. We're talking about punching your business partner in the face if you have to.
I love it. That's right up my alley. Actually, you guys mentioned something. Actually, Steve, right before, mentioned that you shouldn't go into business with your friends.
Right.
However, I think it's a really great opportunity to really be held accountable. When you're working with a friend or somebody close, you have nowhere to hide.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
Because Gina, because they know you better, or because you know where they live?
All of the above.
Oh, Jay.
Well, I think that going to business with someone you're friends with, and Gina, what do you think about this? You already have a framework to actually have a better conversation up front.
Yeah. So here's the thing. So I find because of so this is the responsibility too, right? Because you have a responsibility to the business and ultimately you have a responsibility to the relationship. Jay and I've always made it perfectly clear to Jay that it's our relationship above everything else. And if the business is going to take a toll on the relationship, I'm not interested. Because that is ultimately where I come from. Now, that being said, I've also had to grow into having some really uncomfortable conversations and sitting in it and writhing in my skin, having these really uncomfortable conversations. And I'm so glad we have, and we will continue to do so because ultimately it speaks to the strength of the relationship.
Well, Gina, what do you think about up front? What is like a strategy or a tip or a thing that you would do with a friend if you're opening up a business with them? What's something that you would think would be helpful?
Definitely, you have to focus on the communication being clear, and you want to go into business with someone you can grow with. And Janine, you just said it. You had to grow into that.
Yeah.
Right. You have to grow into that. So it's growth for your business. It's growth for your relationship.
Absolutely.
So making sure that you have that clear line of communication where you can, sometimes no matter how bad it hurts, I can go to this person and tell them, hey, I don't like what you just did, or I don't like the direction you're going in.
Yeah.
What about a 15 to 20 minute open space conversation each week, especially in a partnership or a business relationship where you could just let down and there's amnesty. Like you can't, there's like no, I can't get mad at you. You can't get mad. I mean, well, you're going to get mad. You're going to feel how you're going to feel.
Right.
But there's like a ground rule. Like, just let me have it. I need to know where you feel like you're like, I think that when you took that $5 from me and you didn't, and I didn't get paid back for that, that burned me because I was going to use that for, I don't know, something like that.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, having that, I guess that safe space to take feedback, to give to give some.
Yeah, to get and receive
feedback.
feedback, I think is really crucial.
Yeah, that's how I believe a successful.
This is a big deal, this feedback business.
It really is.
Because ultimately, you're telling somebody, it's from my perspective, I don't see that you're showing up. And it's like not from anything.
Or from my perspective, you are showing up and thank you. Because the conversations are not always bad ones. The conversations are not always negative feedback or feedback that is unpleasant. Sometimes the feedback is like, wow, I'm so proud of you. I've told you this last week alone several times how proud I am of you, of how you show up, of how, that I see that you walk through this, that, and the other, and I'm proud of us. I'm proud of like things that we've gone through in our friendship, again, in our business life that really for most coulda, shoulda, woulda broken it.
Right.
And because of the person I am and how then you show up, we manage to always keep going. So
thanks, Gina.
Thank you, Gina.
Thank you. Happy birthday month, Jay.
Thanks, Gina. It really is it's such a month-long process.
It is.
Do you know what I get like the worst part of the birthday month is when you go to the same restaurant twice in the same month,
right?
And then you basically
Jay, we have another caller.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Linda,
how are you? You're on the air.
Oh, I am. Oh, okay, because I'm still listening to it. Hi.
Hi, how are you?
Hi.
I'm awesome. Thank you so much. I didn't know this program was out there, and I was I just heard about it today.
Oh,
you're a
welcome.
first-time listener. Thank you so much.
I love what I'm hearing.
Oh, great.
Oh, thank you.
We're trying to create a safe space. We talk about being an entrepreneur, or just being human, and what we go through on a
sit back from the
on a
mic
daily
little bit.
basis.
You're too close to the mic.
So, we're talking about clarity in the business relationship with a friend.
How can we support you? Is this something that you're going through?
Well, actually, no, but I mean, it's all this. To me, relationships are relationships. It doesn't matter whether it's business, whether it's business partnership, or a relationship with your family members, your significant others, the person. I don't know.
That's a great point.
And I heard some things being talked about before about how feedback is so important, and it is. And it hits close to home now, with my own partner, where we have issues, and it's so important to just say, hey, you know what, can I give you some feedback? My perspective of this is X, Y, and Z, and what do you think? And that's not a business relationship. It is a relationship, and it's all important. It's the same thing.
Well, thank you for saying. I'm so sorry, Jay. Thank you for saying that, Linda. Because when we were discussing like how I was talking to, how I was reluctant to sometimes approach Jay about certain things that I was experiencing in the business or with him or whatever. It wasn't about him. It was about how I was showing up in every relationship. So it was symptomatic of how I show up in relationship, period. And it's something that I've really had to grow into. So you're right. It's not just about a business relationship. It's about relationship, period.
But
Exactly.
And Linda, when I'm thinking about how I feel and I don't want to offend somebody, that is always where I decide to swallow the pill that I decided in my own mind the other person can't take it.
Right. I do the same thing.
But who am I to decide for the other person that they couldn't take my honesty? And maybe I'm off. Maybe my perspective's off, but I need to hear about that. But it's always like, well, no, I don't want to hurt their feelings. So who am I to say that I can hurt someone else's feelings?
Right.
But isn't that where that I start down that dangerous path of then I'm not going to talk in this instance, then it's not going to be in the next instance, and I don't want to hurt their feelings here until then I'm really hurt. And it's like then I count those 4 times that you did these 4 things that I didn't tell you about, but I'm still angry with you for, and then I'm going to blow it with you on the smallest thing because something else didn't show up.
100%.
And that's so unfair. But how beautiful is it though that because of all of this, a relationship can be strengthened? It's your relationship between the two of you, I'm sure, is a whole lot stronger than before you went into a partnership.
It really is, actually.
Yeah.
It really,
sure that it is.
No two people have been tested more.
and you just put it out there. Yeah, exactly. So that's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, thank you very much for the call.
Thank you so much. We're really
and
honored.
Welcome to the show.
And honored that everybody, like Millie is on, Jim Davis is on, Kim DeLuca. We're so honored. Thank you.
And I think we have one on the.
We have one more other caller
on hold. I think it's. Thanks.
Tristan.
Thank you so much, guys.
All right, take care. Take care, Linda.
Bye, Linda. Tristan?
Hi, Tristan.
Hey, Janine, how you doing?
Hey, how are you?
Oh, my God. It's the Tristan. I'm fangirling right now.
Hey.
How are you, handsome?
How are you?
What's going on? I'm doing well. Just got off of work. I saw that you guys were on live, and I was like, you know what? Let me get a chance to call in and see if it's possible. So,
Oh, man. Thank you. What's going on, Tristan?
nothing much. Just working. That's it. Working on everything.
Yeah.
Me, the music.
Nice.
The other.
I love it. I love it. Ladies and gentlemen, Tristan is a tremendously talented musical artist. He does rap. He's such an incredibly wonderful, humble, kind young man. And he's so easy on the eyes. God bless him. And so thank you so much for calling in. Is there anything that you go through in terms of clarity or seeking clarity in relationship that we can speak into?
Business relationship, personal relationship?
Oh, man. Yes. What I do know for a fact is if you aren't clear on your personal life, you can just forget about business. Really.
Yeah.
Because it really is, everything has to be clear in one aspect for it to be clear in everything else. If you're lacking in one part, the other part will suffer.
Wow.
Wow,
that is firsthand. Definitely.
That is so on point because, again, it's creating alignment in every aspect of your life, right?
So it starts with you.
Yes.
Just being honest with from where you're coming from. As long as it's true for you and you're coming from the space of contribution, but also I got to get this off my chest and this is real for me.
Okay.
Because then you're actually sharing with somebody like something from the heart, and you're not making a decision for them like, oh, they can't handle this.
Right.
I think that there's so much power in just saying and just letting it out there and just saying, okay, I'm willing to face those internal conversations by telling you what my truth is, business or personal.
Yeah.
Because really, what's the difference?
At the end, there's right.
What's that?
No, I was saying that you are absolutely right on that too. And how that I feel goes hand in hand also is when, let's say that you have a business meeting with someone, but then somehow you get to know them on a personal level, or you witness something and experience something personal from them, that can rub you the wrong way as far as keeping that business relationship with that person too. So
Right.
that things like that is very, 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 very crucial.
I want to add
Yeah.
something to this, though. What about if you're going, let's say, 50-50 with somebody on a business transaction? So just go
Yeah.
follow me on the hypothetical.
Yeah.
And then you take them out, you go out to dinner, and it's like, it's this 50-50 relationship. And you say, tonight's on me. Or let's say that you're working on a business relationship and business transaction, and then they throw in 10 grand, and they just said, don't worry about it. I got you. Now, then the next day, things show up, and then you have the ability to give back the $10,000 just for gratis. It has nothing to do with the transaction. And the other person says, no, we're 50-50. How do you feel about that?
In that regard,
Yeah.
no, then we're not 50-50. There's some reason why that person they're so willing to throw out a little extra, but not get back what they put in. And again, that's something on a personal level with them. Like, they could have a side, like, some kind of backhanded dilemma to it, but again, that all goes down to the person. But, like, knowing the person you are doing business with.
Right.
Right.
Good stuff.
Yeah, it's true. And people grow, and there's ebb and flow. And my late mother always used to say something. She was married to my father for 45 years, and she would always say, I will never finish to know him. I'm always getting to know him every single day. And that's something so true. And I think that, goes the same for the relationship with ourselves. We all do and say things that surprise us every now and then. And the same with the business partner. You've got to be able to be willing to do that dance and to trust.
Well, thanks a lot. We're going to go on to break.
Tristan, thank you
and
so
thank you very
much.
much for the phone call.
Oh, my gosh.
We appreciate you.
We
Thanks.
hope to hear from you all again.
Thank you for having the show.
All right.
Thank you.
We're going to go on a quick break, and we'll be right back talking about clarity.
Farrow Law Firm, standing up to corporate bullies, using innovative, aggressive, and effective strategies to resolve disputes effectively and timely. Contact us at 954-252-9818, online at farrowlawfirm.com, and on Facebook at Farrow Law Firm. We look forward to being of service to you.
You've been listening to the Momentum Mindset Show.
With Jay and Janine, give us a call at 888-565-1470. And now back to the show.
And welcome back to the Momentum Mindset Show. We are here on a Friday, birthday month, but really the big news is this weekend. Yes, yours truly is turning 44 years old on Sunday.
July 7th.
July 7th, 7/7.
That's
Coincidence?
it.
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
So anyway, we're talking about clarity. We're talking about clarity in the context of a developed business relationship.
Yeah.
And this part
And
about
when you
having,
start to include other people
and
and
having-
how that clarity involves with other people when you start making business deals with other people when you're in partnership too.
It's having those uncomfortable conversations with your best friend that you're in partnership with. Because I mean, as an attorney, and when people come to my office and the partnership is now being dissolved, or there's litigation about to happen because of it, it's because there was never clarity. Or more importantly than that, there's the uncomfortable conversation that they did not have when something came up. Because things are going to come up in a partnership because you cannot
Always.
plan for everything. There's constantly you're going to be challenged with new opportunities, and new opportunities present new questions.
Correct.
And with those new questions, you have the opportunity to have an uncomfortable conversation, but that usually involves renegotiating the deal, maybe taking something or asking something from your best friend that, oh my God, that they're giving 50-50, but they might have to take a little bit less for a time or something. It doesn't matter. It's about sitting down and having the space to do it.
Absolutely.
We have a caller.
And having the trust
and
to
someone
do it.
I was actually thinking about calling today because I'm going to need her support. Dulce, how are you?
Dulce. Hello?
Dulce, you there? I guess she.
Dulce.
Oh, there you are.
Hi.
How are you?
Hi. I am so excited. I'm in love with you guys.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Awesome.
Dulce,
I love you. Yes.
just for my guests, for everybody that's listening here on the radio and around the world on Facebook, Dulce is our chef.
Well,
and
she's
has
a
been
very talented chef
very,
and
very
friend.
talented chef and friend. And because I'm going to be starting something new for my 44th birthday, I needed to talk to you today anyway.
Thank you. Oh my God, I can't believe it.
I know.
Coincidence, huh?
But we're
And
talking
you have
about
me in your show.
and thanks for calling in. I do need to
Thank
speak to you.
Yes,
So,
thank
Dulce,
you.
do you have any questions or comments about the topic of clarity?
Clarity-
How does that come up for you?
Clarity in business or your
Yeah.
personal relationship.
Yes, well, this is what I'm going through now. The most important relationship for me is a relationship to myself. And I keep failing myself. I am right now in a situation that my mom is pretty sick and she
I'm
has
sorry
to
to
move
hear
with
that.
us. She don't want to live alone anymore. She has been living alone for 10 years, and she's 81. And let me tell you, I'm doing great because now I was living with my boyfriend most of my week. You know that I share my week back and forth between my apartment and my boyfriend's apartment.
Yes.
So now I have to go back and be home more time and support my daughter. My daughter has 2 kids. She has the dog, and now I cannot leave my mom with her, too. It's too much for her. So what is happening to me is these 3 weeks that she has been with us is that the least person I pay attention to is myself and my business.
Yeah.
I need to sit down and go over my expenses, and that never happened.
Yes.
And so, you know, I'm there for my mom, I'm there for my boyfriend, I'm there for my daughter, I'm there for my grandkids, I'm there for whoever needs me, my clients, I'm there for my clients.
Oh, I know. I know that.
Yeah.
But when it's time to be there for me, I drop my exercise, I drop sitting down, and like, oh my God, what's going on?
You know what's interesting? My mom has this saying, and it's
Yeah.
called "Stop, Drop, and Roll." And if you remember growing up, there was these little like PSAs, the public service announcements, talking about like, you know, if you're ever on fire. I mean, I don't know why they had to tell people like, if you're on fire, stop, drop, and roll. By the way,
In case it just wasn't abundantly evident.
good advice, you know. But the concept that I remember thinking about, my mom talked about it in the context of business and life, is that when you have all these things and you find yourself doing all these things for other people and not taking care of yourself, it's time to stop, drop, and roll, because eventually that catches up to you. But how can you be there?
Sure
Can you
does.
truly be there for anybody else if you're not being there for yourself? I mean, maybe for a while, but I certainly know the feeling, Dulce, that when you're feel like, I got to do this for this person and this person, and one person that in that whole relationship that gets lost is you.
Yep. This is very, very common for both men and women.
And really, Dulce, it's going to those people in your life and saying, hey, can I have a week off? I mean, it's literally saying, I need some space here for a few hours a day so I can wrap my head around my business and around my life. Because there's a power in deciding how you're going to do something. And I'm going to give you a crazy example so you understand what I'm saying. I have a client, and he's he had a divorce about 5 years ago. And he's got to pay alimony, and his alimony he's got to pay is like $12,000 a month.
Yeah, it's
And
no small
it's
amount
no
of
small
money.
amount of alimony.
Wow.
Now, I think the alimony is due on the 15th of the month. Let's say it's due on the 15th of the month. He chooses to pay it on the 3rd. And he says, the reason why I do that, Jay, is because it makes me feel like I have the power over it. Because I've chosen to do it before it's actually due. And that's a power that I've taken back from the middle of the month. And I listened to this man, I'm like, wow.
It's so
that
incredible.
means, so basically making those types of choices, even though you like say you have to take care of your mother, you have to take care of this. If you were to say, I'm going to do all of that, but I'm going to take an hour a day for myself to organize my business, to organize and structure my workout, or to take care of myself as far as working out itself, that's the stop, drop, and roll. And it's also giving myself back the power. And
right. So that you can be in service to others, because listen, it's your mom, it's your daughter, it's your people you love, your boyfriend, all of these people you love.
Right.
And your clients feed you also, they give you satisfaction, you're dealing with the public. It can also be very soul satisfying. And in order to give the best of yourself, look at your schedule, stop, drop, and roll, take a breath. Look at your schedule and create the clarity for yourself that you need. Listen, this is a constant conversation that I have. Constant.
Yes.
Like I always tell Jay, his head would blow off his body if he knew like all of the different things that that any of us do. And you too, you do an enormous amount. Like we are all doing constantly. So, but it is important to be clear with ourselves.
Claiming your life back a little bit at a time starts with that hour.
Yes.
And it's because it's not going to happen, right? Dulce, I know it's not going to happen.
It doesn't happen overnight.
Overnight. Even if it's the first 15 minutes, say, I'm taking these 15 minutes, and it's harder than you think. It's harder than you think.
Oh, yeah.
It is hard, guys, because I don't think it's them. I know if I tell them, guys, I need an hour, and I close my door, I don't think they're going to bother me.
No, they're not.
No, they're not.
It's myself that I don't put myself that.
So you wisely said at the top of the call, it's the relationship with yourself.
Right.
Getting clear with you.
And
so thank you. I love that. Stop. What is it again? Stop.
Stop, drop, and roll.
Stop, drop, and roll.
Especially if you're on fire.
Right, especially if you're on fire. And for those of you in Radio Land, if you happen to be on fire right now, stop, drop, and roll and see how it works out for you.
I will think that I will save everybody in the house and leave myself. Especially if I'm on fire. And sometimes you feel like I'm on fire.
Yeah.
When it has been a week and I haven't taken 10 minutes to do my breathing, something that I need for myself. It's Friday, guys, and I haven't walked one day this week. Last week, I forced myself, and I was walking even at 11 o'clock. And it's Friday. Where's the weekend end? But it's that little thing, that taking that commitment and being my word to myself.
To yourself.
That sometimes I forgot.
Hey, Dulce, do you want to give your number out as a chef? She does private chefs.
Yes, and she focuses on very healthful eating.
Yeah, and very healthy eating. Now, mind you, I'm about to hire you again, Dulce. But I'd like to give out your number and let the audience know how they can reach you.
Thank you, guys. Well, my website is dulcearomas.com, and my number is 305-495-1280. It's personal chef services, wellness workshops, and cooking classes, and that's my passion, actually. I think when I'm serving my clients is when I take the time for myself, because that is very fulfilling for me.
Awesome.
And it's something that I'm doing. And Jay, it's something that I could do that even if you don't pay me.
I know, but we all need to make a living. But and Dulce, when we start this back up again, you can come up on the show and tell us some more about your business. How about that?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes, we have to talk about that and my journey and why I got here and why I'm dedicating myself to help others eating healthier and eating for good health.
Amazing.
Well, thank you so much.
Thanks for calling in.
Thank you for calling in.
And we're going to take a 1-minute break here, and we'll be right back talking about some clarity on a Friday afternoon.
Farrell Law Firm, standing up to corporate bullies, using innovative, aggressive, and effective strategies to resolve disputes effectively and timely. Contact us at 954-252-9818, online at farrelllawfirm.com, and on Facebook at Farrell Law Firm. We look forward to being of service to you.
You've been listening to the Momentum Mindset Show
with Jay and Janine. Give us a call at 888-565-1470. And now back to the show.
And welcome back to the Momentum Mindset Show.
Welcome back, everybody. It is Friday evening.
Now.
And we are so excited because we're going into Jay's birthday weekend.
And also, not just my birthday weekend, but also after my birthday weekend, I'm starting a new body transformation business acceleration workshop. Well, not workshop, but a plan, so to speak, in our office.
Guys, this is what, and thank you. So I don't mean to interrupt you, but I do, because what I want to say is this. It never stops.
It never stops.
It doesn't stop. Like, we will rest eventually.
Yeah.
But it doesn't, because we know where we're going.
Right.
So again, we talked a lot about this show about clarity and how the hardships of entrepreneurship rear their ugly head. And let me tell you something. Most people shoulda, coulda, woulda quit. I get it. I would never blame anybody for running into the safety of the arms of gainful employment. And you know, but we have chosen to keep on this path, and it never stops. There's always something else. There's always more learning. There's always more growing. There's always more something. To your point, business.
So the business thing that is showing up, for example.
Me too.
Okay, well, all right. I wanted to start into getting to this. So this is going to start a summer-long program till the end of summer, which is around September the 21st, where I'm going to be going after it. I'm looking to gain 10 pounds. I'm looking to increase our business in certain ways and increase or continue on with the marketing plan that we have right now. I want to say that to the end, it doesn't end. Last year, this time, we were going through a reorganization of the law firm, looking for areas of practice that I really love and was going after. Because I just got through 10 years of doing forensic fraud work in foreclosure cases. Because that's really what I was doing is I was uncovering fraud having to do with the bank scandal of 2008. And now this is morphed into, we've now filed multi-million-dollar cases. And on Monday, a reporter reached out for me from New York who also writes for Forbes magazine, and he interviewed me, and he and 3 hours later we have an article about the law firm, and about one of the cases that we just filed in federal court, and there's going to be more about that on the Verdict Show. I want to plug that as well.
Yes.
On
Mondays at 6 p.m. we have what's called the Verdict TV. And it's all about the law.
The law.
ESPN meets.
But I got
the
ESPN meets Sports Center, Law and Order,
and all the kind of things.
MMA.
And MMA. Yeah, because the point of the show too is that we think that the law has nothing to do with us, but it has everything to do with us. And it's just another tool in order to navigate life and business and all good stuff. And so we're making it accessible to the masses. So over the next
couple of months, we had some really big wins. I mean, just being written up by someone like
absolutely. We've had a couple press releases.
Thanks to Doug
Thank
Golan.
you to Doug Golan.
Yeah,
absolutely. Shout out to you.
But it doesn't stop. And what we're saying is that this week was an intentional week. It's a little bit light. I actually had 2 trials, one in Orlando, one in West Palm Beach, and now it's the birthday weekend, July 4th. It's a little bit slow, but next week we're getting back into the swing of things, and having an intentional 8-week period, 9-week period of really going after my body, really going after my business, really going after the shows and the piano lessons and all the other stuff. But I have we're starting a schedule on Monday.
Yes,
we're creating one. We're going to stick by it. Now, here's the point that I wanted to make also on the show today about something like this. And it hit me like last night and the night before when I was kind of eating, when I was like enjoying myself. Like I was having some desserts, and I don't really eat this stuff, and I've been eating a lot of steak. And part of me is like, oh my God, what are you doing? You're eating this right now? And I said, Jay, you're not on a plan right now. You're not playing for something right now. Why are you going to beat yourself up? And it was like a whole breakthrough. It's like, wait a second. When I'm playing for something, I know I'm playing for it. I'm going after it. And I have the momentum towards the plan, and I'm really energized, and then I'm playing for it. Then hold myself to the standard. But then don't beat yourself up when you're not playing for it.
Right.
In other words, when you're taking your break, enjoy your break. Okay.
Absolutely.
And there's nothing wrong with that. We know that this is an intentional period this week, and sometimes we're going to be traveling a bit during the summertime. You take those times to enjoy those times. If you're not playing for it or plan for it.
Yeah.
But if you're just kind of like chilling out and you're not actually doing something, then don't beat yourself up. If you're not on a diet, then you're not on a diet. No big deal.
Right. It's not the end of the world, because the truth of the matter is that you decide what balance is to you. Everybody talks about balance, but the truth of the matter is that nobody has the exact formula of balance. Right. Balance is what it means to you. In other words, like Jay enjoys being super, super strict with certain things. That's his, that he loves that.
Yeah.
I'm a little less of that, and I go my own speed, and when I'm really intentional about it, I can produce some massive results myself. Mm-hmm. So, but it means something different to everybody. And so what I would say, and what we've been saying, or what we share, is enjoy yourself when you're going to enjoy yourself, and let the guilt go by the wayside, because that's wasted energy for when you really want to be intentional to go after your goals, like your life depends on it. You need all of that energy.
No points for guilt.
No points for guilt.
No
and
points. No
points for beating yourself up.
Right. So the number one thing that will ever prevent you from being successful is yourself. You are the one getting in your own way. I'm the one getting in my own way.
We're talking about partnership, but in reality, it's really, we can blame. We love to blame people in our world. This is how we grow up. We could blame it, but it's not. It's between you and you.
It's the clarity within yourself saying, all right, this is what I'm playing for. I'm playing for a law firm like no other that will offer a client experience like no other.
Right.
We have created a concierge type of law firm, and we're going through a practice
that includes a coach.
That's
unheard of in and of itself.
Right. That includes a coach while you're going through this. That has the resources now, working with some excellent ex-federal officers. We have contacts around the world, but the experience itself and where we're going with the law firm is to offer service and a unique commitment to getting our clients in and out and on with life.
Absolutely.
Not having any more sleepless nights, and actually supporting them with the conversations they're having for standing up to the bullies in their life.
Absolutely.
But all of this being intentional and knowing when you're playing and knowing when you're not playing. When you're playing for it, play for it. When you're on the field, you're on the field. Yeah. And when you're off the field, you get to take care of yourself and rest and do all the things that you do off the field.
Yeah.
And believe it or not, I mean, all of it is in a balanced life and deals with this schedule. And one of our really good friends and someone that's going to be working with us very closely is supporting us with schedule.
Yeah.
And allowing somebody else to hold the space of being your accountability buddy. In other words, it's one thing to create what you want to create. It's one thing to have the schedule. It's another thing to turn it over to somebody else and share it with them. And it's an even other thing that says, listen, hold me to it. Ask me about it. Ask me how I'm doing. As a matter of fact, I'm supposed to be contacting you for it. And if you can find that, you can create that team and do it amongst yourself. You have that first thing, because that, more than anything else, accountability and team is going to get you to where you want to go.
And I would add discipline.
Well,
this is a distinction of everything. Absolutely. Having
your
that
first
discipline.
commitment to discipline is telling somebody else about your stuff. It's 5:55.
Yeah.
Just saying. And
Just saying. Means something to us.
And maybe to some of you guys out there. Was that too underneath the radar? I mean, whatever,
All right, Jay, all right. But yeah, so again, it all circles back to clarity, right? Knowing who's on first.
Yes.
Provides security. Knowing who's on first provides opportunity to grow and communication. What's going on?
No, I forgot just this. Right, as you're saying this at 5:55, I want to just talk about the paper towels. I want to thank every single paper towel hanging up in my house. And this is where you might. Where did he just go?
In the office.
All right, this thing. You take a paper towel. I don't know why the universe picked paper towels, but this is the way it is, and I'm not going to question it. You write your name and an exclamation point. You could write the words win, joy,
you must write your name. That's part of it.
You must write your name.
Write your name and an exclamation
point. Now, what is he talking about? Where did that come from? Well, then there's some other shows that you need to go back and watch. Here's the deal. There's some magic about, in the morning, writing your name on a piece of paper and putting an exclamation point. But even more magic when it's a paper towel. And then taping it up at some place in your house that you can see it. I don't know how it works, but ever since we've been doing that a couple of years ago, but first, recently, there's been some massive wins in our life.
Absolutely.
And I don't know if it's me working out, me doing the yoga, me eating 6 times a day. I don't know which part of this that makes my success a success, but all roads lead to Rome, and I got to take them all to get there. And one of the things that I have seen noticeably is when I write my name on a on a paper towel and I put the exclamation point. I didn't want to lose that because every single week I'm going to tell you guys to do this. And every single week, because I'm doing it every single day.
Absolutely.
I want you to write into the show at the Momentum Mindset Show on Facebook and let me know what your wins. I have friends that did that like a couple weeks ago and they're in a relationship and they're completely in love. I have had the largest cases in my office that just walked in recently. Okay, bigger than the ones we had before.
Yeah.
That these wins, I don't know if they're the result of any of the work that we're doing, but I'll tell you this: every time I write my name on a paper towel, I put an exclamation point. Whoo!
Yep.
There.
It's a listen, and again, you guys will figure out. Try the paper towels. Let us know what works for you.
I know. And we will see you next week.
We'll see you next week. Have a wonderful weekend, everybody. Happy birthday, Jay!
Thank you. Bye, everybody. Thank you for listening to the Momentum Mindset Show. For your hosts, Jay and Janine, we'll see you here next week. Thank you for being real, authentic, and honest.
If you'd like to reach us, please contact us on our Facebook page, The Momentum Mindset Show, or on our office phone line, which is 954-559-6987.
We are stronger together.
And remember, keep going.